It's finally time for the moment you've all been waiting for. Today, we are reading every single card from Duelist Nexus. But first, we have a giveaway. I'll be giving away this beautiful Cyberstorm Access playmat. All you have to do is like the video, be subscribed, and comment down below what is your favorite card from Duelist Nexus. But first, if you want to support the channel, you can head over to tier0games.com, pre-order some Dune yourself, and you can also become a YouTube member to get early access to deck lists, exclusive Discord access, and much more. I do really love doing this. This also helps me understand a lot of the new cards, but also give you a video where you can just listen to the entire card pool of the set being read out, noted, and seeing what's actually good and what might be garbage. Before we begin, make sure to leave a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel. This is not a complete list because there are imports and TCG exclusive, but these will be the cards that we know actually come from the OCG into the TCG. There is a dog barking in the background of this video, but I'm just gonna start reading through the cards. So again, sit back, relax, enjoy, grab a snack or a drink. If you are working, then enjoy your work as I read through the cards. And we're gonna start with the Magicians of Bond and Unity, which is actually the only card that comes in Quarter Century Secret Rare, and this is the 25-year card, basically a level 8 light magician with 2500 that cannot be normal summoned or set, and must be special summoned by having 25 or more cards in your graveyard, gains 2500 attack and defense while your opponent has 25 or more cards in their graveyard. Not supposed to be playable, just a flavor card. And the next card is Wheel Synchron, level 5 light machine tuner. If this card you control is used as synchro material, you can treat it as a non-tuner. You can only use each effect of Wheel Synchron once per turn. During your main phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon one level 4 or lower monster. Also, you cannot special summon monster from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except synchro monsters. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target one synchro monster you control, and reduce its level by up to 4. This is super solid. And then probably the best card in the set, right off the bat, Revolution Synchron is a secret rare in the set, level 3 Earth Machine Tuner. And if you control, if you would synchro summon a power tool synchro monster or level 7 or 8 dragon monster synchro, you can use this card in your hand as synchro material. You can use this effect of Revolution Synchron once per turn. And if this card is in your graveyard and you control level 7 or higher synchro monster, you can send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon this card, but it becomes level 1. You can only use this effect of Revolution Synchron once per duel. And then, the illusion cards, the Chimera Fusion cards. Gazelle, the King of Mythical Claws. If it is normal or special summon, you can add one level 5 Fiend monster or one Chimera Fusion from your deck to your hand. And if this card is sent from to the graveyard as fusion material for a fusion summon, you can add one illusion monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. And this basically searches the Cornfield Codal, which we'll get to. And Baphomet the Great Wings, I think it's called in the TCG Big Winged Baphomet, which is the retrain level 5 Dark Fiend. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one level 4 Beast monster and or one Chimera Fusion, so you can add 2 cards off of this card. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except fusions. And if this card is sent to the graveyard as material for your fusion summon, you can target one illusion monster in your graveyard as cost and special summon it. Only use once per turn, both effects. Cornfield Codal, Wind Illusion Monster. This is the new type we now get in Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is really exciting. We haven't gotten a type since Cybers, which is really cool. And it has the effect that all illusion monsters in this set actually share, that if this card battles a monster, neither can be destroyed. So it's sort of like there and not there. Actually, it's like a phantom, like Billy Brake explained it in the reveal video. You can only use each effect of Codal once per turn. You can discard it and one monster that mentions Chimera Fusion from your deck to your hand, except itself. And when your opponent activates a card effect that targets a card you control, while you control Chimera, the Flying Mythical Beasts, you can banish this card from your graveyard or field and negate that effect. And if you do, destroy it. This is a Cornfield Quarter and Mirror Swords Knight. This is the name in the TCG. Light Illusion level 4, 1900, 300 defense. Again, shares the same effect where if it battles, neither can be destroyed. You You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. Quick effect, you can tribute it as cost, special summon one monster that mentions Chimera Fusion, except itself when your opponent activates a monster effect on the field while you control Chimera, the flying mythical beast. Quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard and negate that effect. So this is actually a negate on the field while you control, negating the graveyard while you control Chimera on the field. So basically the combo is that you start off with this, you discard it for Mirror Swords Knight, normal summon Mirror Swords Knight, you tribute it to summon Big Wing Berfomat, which searches you the Gazelle and the Chimera Fusion, which we'll get to a little bit later. That is the combo, and it actually provides so much value, which is really cool. So we have King Rex, the twin-headed dragon, level 6, Earth dinosaur monster. We have some dino support here, and if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special it once per turn this way. If it is normal or a special summon, you can target one monster on the field with less attack than the total attack of all dinosaur monsters you control and destroy it once per turn. Then we have another dinosaur, King Rex, the Dragon King, which is level 9 Earth monster dinosaur, and when this attacking card destroys an opponent monster by battle, activate this effect, this card can make a second attack during the battle phase once per turn. Except the turn this was special summon, you can target up to 2 monsters your opponent controls and destroy them. 3200 attack, so this is a big one. Now we get to a little bit of an Altergeist support. This is a very good card, Altergeist Maulwisp, light spellcaster tuna level 3. I'm still trying to figure out why they are making them tuners, but hopefully we will get more support and maybe we actually get better synchro monsters than the bad one that we already have. If it is added to your hand except by drawing it, you can special summon it, an extremely powerful effect. And if this card is normal, special summon, you can target one Altergeist monster in graveyard and special summon it in defense position, but it cannot activate its effect this turn. Really, really strong card. And then we have the Altergeist Penetrator, fire level 1 spellcaster, and this card can attack directly. You can only use each effect once per turn. When this card inflicts battle damage, you can draw one card. If it is sent from the field to the graveyard, send one Altergeist card from your hand, deck, or face up on the field to the graveyard, so you would send Revitalization, which we will get to later. Awesome support, in my opinion. Vanadium Treed, level 2 level 2 Fire Fairy Tuner. This is the support that Vanadium really needed. If you control Visas or a monster with 1500 attack or and 2100 defense, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon this card this way once per turn, and if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, which this deck has so many ways of pulling off, you can special summon one Vanadium Tuner from your deck once per turn. Crazy effect. And then we have, presumably, the antagonist in the Visas Starfrost storyline, and this is Veda Karantha. It's a level 8 Dark Warrior, 2500 attack and 21 defense, which is pretty cool. It's 1000 attack more than all of the Visas clones, which ties into the lore. And again, level 8 does make sense to some extent. If a card on the field is destroyed by a card effect and Visas Starfrost is on the field, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can add one Clear New World, which is a card released in Battle of Chaos, from your deck or graveyard to your hand. If another monster in your possession is destroyed by a card effect, target one monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and if you do, this card gains attack equal to that monster's original attack till the end of the turn. You can only use it once per turn each effect. Just the tip of the iceberg in terms of the Veda lore. Infernova Knight support. Ricciardetto, fire level 1 warrior tuner, seems dangerous. You can banish this card from your hand or graveyard. Special summon one fire level 4 or lower fire warrior monster from your hand as a tuner. Pretty cool. If this card is normal or special summon, you can target one level 4 or lower fire warrior monster in your graveyard, except itself. Special summon it also, you are locked into warriors for the rest of the turn. Only use one effect per turn and only once that turn. And then we have Infernoble Knight Turpin, fire level 4 warrior. And while this card is an equip card, if the equipped monster is used as a synchro material, you can treat it as a tuner. Seems a bit of a stretch. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If you control a monster equipped with an equip card, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard, but if it is summoned from the graveyard, you can banish it when it leaves the field. You need to banish it when it leaves the field. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one Mario monster you control. Equip this card to that monster you control. Okay. I'm sure people are going to find ways to extend with this card. Really interesting. And then we have new Nimrelia support, or Nimlaria, as it's called in the TCG. And this card's name is Nimlaria Realizer, the Dream Terrializer Sleeping Princess. Light level 10 fairy, 1500, 3000. It gains 100 attack for each face down card in your extra deck. So they have a lot of synergy with extra deck face down cards, banishing face down, extra deck face up cards. So all that dream world of face down and face up cards. You can only use each of the effects once per turn. If this card is in your hand, you can target one monster you control, place it on the bottom of the deck, and if you do special summon this card, this is a pretty cool effect actually. If this card is special summon, you can activate one of these effects. Add one Dreaming Nimlaria, which is the Pendulum monster, from your deck or to your extra deck face up. So again, you want to put it in the extra deck face up, or change one other face up monster on the field to face down defense position. And then we have another support card, Nimlaria's Dream Eater Reveal, which is a Dark Beast level 10, 2500, 2500. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can banish 3 cards from your extra deck face down. And except Dreaming Nimlaria, which is the girl. Special summon this card. You cannot special summon a monster from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except Pendulum monsters. You can send one other level 10 beast monster from your hand or face up field to the graveyard as cost. You can set one Nimlaria trap directly from your deck. Only use once per turn each effect. Then we have 2 new Evolzars. Evoltile, one Evolzar. We have Forest, which is level 2 fire reptile. If a monster you control would be destroyed by battle card effect, you can tribute one reptile or dinosaur monster instead. You can, which kind of beats the purpose of dinos, right? Even though it's a reptile. You can use each of the following effects once per turn. If this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon one Evoltile monster from your hand or graveyard and face down defense position from the deck. And during the main phase, you can set one Evo Force or Evo Instant directly from your deck, which seems kind of strong, to be honest. Rios, Evolzar Rios, is a dino level 4 fire. If normal or specialed, you can set one Evolutionary Bridge or Evo Singularity directly from your deck. During your main phase, if you control this card that was special summoned by a fire monster's effect or normal summoned, you can send one fire reptile or dinosaur monster from your deck to your graveyard. Then you can make the type and level of 2 monster on the field become that sent monster. This is pretty cool. You're probably supposed to go into Xyz Blaze with this card. And then we have 2 main deck support cards for Unchained. And these ones are pretty good, to be honest. Level 6, Unchained Soul Charvara. Fire Fiend, of course. During the main phase, if this card is in your hand as a quick effect, you can target one Fiend monster or one set card, destroy it. And if you do special summon this card, also while it's face up in the monster zone, you cannot special summon monsters except Fiend monsters. This is an extremely good effect that can dodge things, pop cards, trigger effects. It's really, really good. And if this card is sent from to the graveyard, you can set one Unchained spell trap directly from your deck. Extremely strong, and the other soul is also strong. Shiyama is the counterpart water spirit for this new Unchained support. Target one card you control, destroy it, and you can destroy by spell trap on the field. So it pops a card you control and another spell trap on the field. Could be another card you control or your opponent. And if this card is in your graveyard, you can target one Fiend monster or one set card you control as cost. Destroy it if you do special summon this card, but place it on the bottom of the deck when it leaves the field. So another extender, a little bit worse than the Sharvana, but also really good. New Drytron support, Ultimate Knight Alpha Ursatron, water level 7 machine monster, and is always treated as an Ursartic or Drytron card. Cannot be normal summoned or set, of course, must be special summoned by a card effect if you control Ursartic. or a Drytron monster other than itself. You can special summon this card from your hand, and if you then you can add one Ursartic or Drytron spell, which is pretty solid. Rescue Ace support. This card is very good. There is a lot of boost to the Rescue Ace strategy in this set. It was enough to bring this set to a meta level contender in the OCG, but we're going to have to see how big of a slaughter we're going to get after the World Championship to see what actually survives. And this is Preventer, level 8, Machine Fire, 2800 times 2. You can manage the Rescue Ace card from your graveyard as cost to special summon this card from your hand, and if you control another Rescue Ace, quick effect, target one effect monster your opponent controls, change it to face down defense position. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one banished Rescue Ace monster except a level 8 monster and special summon it. You can only use each once per turn. This card is very good interruption. Then we have a new Monarch, Thessalos, the Shadow Firestorm Monarch, level 10 fire Pyro, and this is the beginning of a lot of Pyro support for Pyro and fire lovers. It's going to be a Pyro year. The end of 23 is going to be fiery. You can tribute this card by tributing one monster your opponent controls and one tribute summon monsters you control, which is cool. 30,000 attack, by the way. If this card is tribute to him, you can banish one random card from your opponent's hand. If you do, inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. Then if this card was tribute summoned by tributing a level 8 or higher tribute summon monster, you can banish one card on field, and if it is a fire or dark monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original level times 200. Behemoth Retrain, level 10 Earth Beast, tribute summon this card with one tribute. Just changing the rules of the game, no biggie. If it is normal or a special summon, you can target one Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. If you do, this card loses 700 attack. This normal summoned or set monster is unaffected by the activated effects of special summon monsters. 2700 attack. Once per turn during the end phase, you can make this card gain 700. Okay. And then we have another illusion monster. This card is a secret rare in the set, level 7. Dark, 2500, 2000 defense, Nightmare Magician. This card's design is extremely cool in my opinion. If it is battled, neither monster gets destroyed, but at the end of the damage step, if it battles a monster, you can take control of that opponent's monster, which is super cool. As Billy Drake said in the reveal, it entrances the monster to go over to your side as an illusion, which is really cool. Once per turn, at the start of the damage step, if another monster attacks, destroy one card on the field. Pretty awesome card, not gonna lie. Another Hida, level 5 fire spellcaster with the same stats, always treated as a charmer card. I haven't seen this text, but this is really interesting. You can discard this card in one fire monster, add one fire monster with higher attack than the other discarded card from your deck to your hand. Also, your opponent cannot activate non-fire monster effects for the rest of the turn. Holy crap. Wow. This is insane. So this is like the Vernisylph card, but it doesn't plus you. It just dark rulers your opponent. When your fire monster is destroyed by battle, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay. Another, fire support. Another one, Enigmal Candle. Look at this cute boy. Level 4 Fire Pyro Tuner. If this card is added to your hand except by drawing it, special summon it, you can only use this effect once per turn, once per chain, up to thrice per turn. If a monster is sent to the graveyard, you can increase or decrease this card's level by 1. So essentially, it could be a free special summon level 7 tuner. Extremely cool. Uruka, the Magic Star, level 4 Wind Beast. When one monster you control and no other cards leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard or hand. Special summon that monster if it is currently banished face up or in the graveyard. Otherwise, special summon this banished card. If this card is special summon, you can make it gain 1500 attack until the end of the turn. Okay. Set fillers, Pot of Greed, Flip effect, excavate cards up to the number of cards your opponent controls. Add one excavated card to your hand. Also send the rest to the graveyard. Even if this card, let me finish. Send monsters from your extra deck to the graveyard up to the number of monsters that your opponent controls that were special summoned from the extra deck. Even if this card said flip effect, win the game, no one would play it. Click and Echo, a card that I don't understand why Konami keeps printing cards like this. It's a level 2 Sea Serpent and cannot be used as material for Fusion Synchro X summon. Cannot be tributed while face up in the monster zone. And if this card is sent to the graveyard as link material, special summon it to your opponent's side. And in defense position, you can only use it up to twice per turn. If summoned this way, while in the monster zone, you must keep your hand revealed. So essentially, cannot be used for Fusion Synchro Xyz, cannot be tributed, can only be used as link material, and while it's face up on your field, you special summon this to your opponent, their hand is revealed. Why? Not sure. Singing Cuckoo, you can activate one of these effects, destroy this card, then draw one card, discard one card, then draw one card. During the end phase of this turn, draw one card. Cute. Last main monster, the Arahime, the manifested Mekanko, level 9 light, fairy, ritual. You can ritual summon it with Kagura. If this card in your hand or graveyard and you have another Mekanko card in your graveyard, you can target one face-up monster on the field and equip it with this card. So you can only use each effect once per turn. Once per turn during the end phase, while this card is equipped to a monster, you can return both this card and the equipped monster to the hand. It cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, your opponent takes all battle damage you would have involving this card. It doesn't seem like really good support for Mekanko, even though the concept is very strong. Spells. Synchro Overtop. Normal spell. If any number of level 7 and or 8 dragon monsters is in your graveyard, you can target any number of level 7 or 8 monsters, dragon synchro monsters. You can have a special summon them in defense position, but their level becomes 1, and their effects are negated. You cannot special summon monster from the extra deck except synchro monsters for the rest of the turn. When your opponent's synchro monster, when your synchro monster is destroyed by battle, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon one, the Crimson Dragon, from the extra deck. So it's basically a soul charge for synchros, but having to have like really good setup in the graveyard. Synchro World, field spell. Nothing once per turn on this, by the way. Each time a monster or monsters is synchro summoned, you place 2 signal counters on this card. You can remove 4, 7, or 10 signals to activate this effect. 4, increase or reduce the level of one face-up monster you control by 1. 7, special summon 1 tuner from your graveyard. 10, special summon 1 synchro monster from your graveyard. If this card in its owner's control is destroyed by battle by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon 1 the Crimson Dragon from your extra deck. So, they definitely want you to summon the Synchro Dragon. Chimera Fusion, in my opinion, one of the strongest cards in the set. It's kind of unbelievable. It's branded in red without the restrictions. Quick play, spell card during the main phase. Fusion, summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material, including a beast or fiend monster. During your main phase, if this card is in your graveyard and you control Chimera, the flying mythical beast, on your field or in your graveyard, you can put this card in your hand or banish it and summon 1 Gazelle and 1 Berthamet from your deck or graveyard. And it's not once per turn. Like, only the return effect is once per turn. Jurassic Power Continuous. I just really dislike dinosaur arts in Yu-Gi-Oh! For some reason. They seem like super childish. Dinos you control gain 300. You can normal summon level 5 or higher dinosaur monsters with attributing, so cost your birth. You can send 1 dino monster from your hand or face up field to the graveyard. Add 1 dino monster with 1200 defense from your deck to your hand. So these would be the ones, right? The World as 1. Visas, Starfrost. Normal spell, activate one of these effects. Special summon 1 heart, small heart, 1500, 2100 from your graveyard. Shuffle 5 of your banished monsters face up on your field or in your graveyard into the deck. 1 Visas and 4 monsters with 1500, 2100. So Visas plus Rhino, Reich, Rise, and Rheum. And if you do, special summon one Visa's Synchro Monster from your extra deck. And this is treated as a Synchro summon. You can only activate one The World is One per turn. And this is a new field spell, a new planet field spell, and thankfully it does not add on activation, thank God. Activate only if Visa Starfrost is on the field. Once per turn, if a monster you control is destroyed by battle card effect or sent to the graveyard or banished, you can activate one of these effects, special summon one of them in defense. One turn on the field gains attack, shuffle one of them into the deck, then draw one card, shuffle this card into the deck, add one field spell from your graveyard to your hand. New Infernal Arms, all mace, equip, again in the museum. While this card is equipped to a monster, you can equip one Infernal Arms equip from your deck or graveyard to one appropriate monster you control. Holy crap. Then destroy this card. If it is sent to the graveyard because of the equipped monster was sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your Fire Warrior monsters that is banished or in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Sounds pretty strong. And then a new field spell, the Noble Arms Museum. Fire Warrior monsters you control gain 500. Once per turn, you can pay 1200 life points. Add one Noble Arms from your deck to your hand, except the Noble Arms Museum. Once per turn, if this effect was applied this turn, you can target one Noble Knight monster card in your spell and trap zone, special summon it. Also, if you did not control Noble Knight Emperor Charles, at the activation, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn, except warrior monsters. This is the new Rescue Ace card, Emergency Quick Play. If this card is always treated as a Rescue Ace card, and this is probably the strongest one, just like an emergency teleport. Special summon one Rescue Ace monster from your deck in defense, then tribute one Rescue Ace monster. During the main phase, you can banish this card, target one Rescue Ace trap, and set it to your field from the graveyard. Very strong card once per turn. Dark Corridor. Add one Dark World monster from your deck to your hand, then discard one card. You can only activate one Dark Corridor per turn. So this card is a double-edged sword because the effect seems extremely good, but since it is once per turn and you draw your entire deck, it might not be that good. Corrupted Gem of Rebellion, Snake Eye. This is a very special card, and I'm going to explain why in a second. Target one face-up monster on the field, place it face-up in its owner's spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. You can only activate one Snake Eye per turn. Presumably, this random card is going to be the basis of the new main theme of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game. Similar to Alba's lore, Visa's lore, seems like, and we're getting a lot of reveals for that now, that Snake Eye is going to be the next one. And the hint is that similar to what they did with Clear New World, they released Clear New World in Battle of Chaos out of the blue. And then one set later, lore, right? So this is the hint. And this we're already seeing this card mentioned in a lot of other cards, so it makes sense. Fusion Reinforcement, called Fusion Armament in the TCG. Seemingly strong, probably not playable, unfortunately, unless somebody texts this out, really dives into the books for this one. Reveal one fusion monster in your extra deck, special summon one of the fusion materials mentioned on it from the extra deck or graveyard, but until the end of your opponent's turn, cannot attack, also negate it, activate once per turn. So, can summon the Turia Beast to your field, but it's negated, so you have to bring it back in some way. It's kind of weird. Duelist Genesis. If you have a tuner on your field or in your graveyard, add one synchro spell trap from your deck to your hand. Transcendental Evolution Pill Beta. Tribute 2 monsters from your hand or field, including a Dino monster. Special summon a level 5 or higher Dino as a monster from your extra deck with an attack equal or higher than the tributed monster's total attack. Also for the rest of the turn, now special summon a monster from the extra deck except Dragon, Dino, Sea Serpent, Worm. Too bad it tributes and not destroyed. Otherwise, it would be probably too broken. Mirror Formation of the 10 Sacred Treasures. Send monsters from your hand and or face up on the field to the graveyard whose levels equals 10. And I timed out and draw 2 cards. This is basically what the card says. There's a lot of Nimlaria support, which are all level 10, and also Eldritch. I'm really hoping for some more Eldritch stuff in the future. And this is definitely not... There we go. we're back. Mirror formation of the 10 sacred treasures. Normal spell send monsters from your hand and or face up to the field on the field to the graveyard, whose total level equals 10. Draw 2 cards. Egomorph. Quick play. Start of damage. If a monster battles another monster, activate one of these effects. Change the attacking monster to defense. Return the attack target to the hand. The attack target. I haven't heard this in Yu-Gi-Oh! Destroy both. Okay. Eternal Ice Grave. An Albaz lore art. Post Cyberstorm access. Quick play. During the main phase, if a monster you control leaves the field by an opponent's monster effect, end the main phase, skip the main phase 1 of your opponent's next turn. Interesting. Aqua Round. Are these Mechanicos? No, right? Who are these guys? These ladies. Normal spell. Banish 1 card from your hand, and if you do, during your next send by phase, you can add up to 2 cards with the banished card's name from your deck to your hand. If this card was activated while your opponent controlled no cards, you cannot activate cards or effects of the cards with the banished card's name for the rest of that turn. Okay. Scrap Iron Idol. I think this is called Scrap Iron Synchro Statue. Stone Statue, I think. Target 1 level 7 or 8 Dragon Synchro monster that is banished from your graveyard. Special summon it. Return it to the extra deck during the end phase. It's pretty cool. Also, after that, set this card face down instead of sending it to the graveyard. So that's similar to Scrap Iron Scarecrow. If the set card is in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon the Crimson Dragon from your extra deck. Super bad. Like, trap cards are horrible, unfortunately. Except this card. Altergeist Revitalization. Target 1 Altergeist Link monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You don't use this effect. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Immediately afterwards, normal summon 1 Altergeist monster. Can only use 1 effect per turn, only once that turn. So essentially you send it with the fire monster to the graveyard, then you normal summon another monster, which is really cool. New world formation. This is the Vsauce world combined with all the stars. You have all the stars on this planet, and you target 1 spell and trap in your graveyard that mentions Vsauce, set it. If it is a trap card or quick play, you can activate it this turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target 3 spells or traps in your graveyard that mentions Vsauce, except this card, shuffle them into the deck. You can only use each once per turn. New Noble Arms trap. Epic Poem of Charles. Reveal 1 Noble Arms equipped spell in your hand. And if you do, special summon 1 Infernoble Knight from your hand deck, then either equip it with the revealed card or send the revealed card to the graveyard. Banish the card from your graveyard. Like, every trap now has to banish itself from the graveyard in order to be playable. Otherwise, no one would play it. Target 1 Emperor Charles. Equip it with normal arms monster from your hand or deck as an equip. That is a pretty strong effect, but this card is not searchable, I think. Nimlaria Louvre. The art is so disturbing. Special summon 1 Nimlaria monster or 1 level 10 beast monster from your hand or deck in defense position. Return it to the end during the end phase. You can banish this card from your graveyard and target 1 face of monster your opponent controls. It loses 100 attack for each attack and defense for each of your cards that are currently banished face down. Valence Wave. Master phase. Continuous trap. Once per turn, if a card in the monster zone moves to another monster zone, you can activate one of these effects. All level 5 Valence monsters you control gains 1200 attack. Until the end phase of this turn, send this face-up card from your spell and trap zone to the graveyard, then target 1 effect monster in your opponent's main monster zone. Place that monster face-up as a continuous spell in their spell and trap zone in the same column. If it's occupied, destroy the occupying card. Solid. Pearly Shirley is a good card. Target 1 Pearly Xyz monster you control. Special summon 1 level 1 Pearly monster from your deck, but negate it. And if you do, special summon from your extra deck 1 Pearly Xyz monster with the same rank as the targeted monster, but a different attribute by using the summon monster as material. So target an Xyz, you summon a level 1, then you make an Xyz with both of them, with a different attribute than the Xyz monster. Then you can attach to the Xyz monster as material one card from your deck with the same name as a Pearly quickly spell attached to the targeted monster. Extremely complicated. Target an Xyz, bring a level 1 Xyz with both of them to a new Xyz with a different attribute. Then, if it has a quick play, you attach another quick play with the same name from the deck. But if it's limited, you can't. Last trap. Mechanical Spiriting Away. Target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Equip that face-up monster to one mechanical monster you control. Then, if a ritual monster card is on the field, you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each equipped spell you control. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Special summon one mechanical monster that is banished or in your hand. And then, it's not the last trap card. We have some more here. Wipe out Trap Hole. When your opponent summons a monster with 1500 or less attack, banish that monster with 15 or less attack face down. Little opposition. Look at this. It's IP in the S-Force world. Choose two unused main monster zones in the same column. Apply this effect. Special summon one level 2 or lower monster from your hand or deck to the chosen zone in attack position or face down defense position. You choose two unused monster zones to your chosen zone. Okay, so it has to be unused because they can use their effects. You don't want it to be too broken. I think this is like S-Force support, obviously. Opposing mirrors of the underworld. Normal trap. When you take damage for an opponent's attack or card effect, apply this effect based on the type of damage. Battle. Special summon one monster from your graveyard with attack less or equal to the damage you took. And if you do end the battle phase effect, inflict twice that much damage to your opponent. Okay, so it's anti-burn. Kiribon! If 10 or more cards or effects have been activated this turn, special summon this card as an effect monster, Cyber's Dark level 10, 3000, 3000, but set it to your spell and trap zone during the end phase. This is also still trap. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect while this card is in the monster zone, quick effect, you can destroy as many cards your opponent controls as possible, then set it. This is bad. Chimera the Phantom Beast King, level 6 Wind Beast, requires one beast, one fiend monster. Considered, it is named Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast while on the field or in the graveyard, but it's still treated as a Phantom Beast card. If it is fusion summoned, at the end phase, you send one random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard, and during your opponent's turn, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target one beast, fiend, or illusion monster in your graveyard and special summon it, and this is the rank up. Chimera plus one illusion. So basically, KOTOR or Kotal, the one card gets you to this through all of the other monsters, which is really, really cool. I think as a design, in a design perspective, becomes Chimera, still a Phantom Beast. This card can make attack on monsters each battle phase up to the number of fusion monsters used for its fusion summon. So you can use multiple illusion monsters. And again, if it battles a monster, neither can be destroyed since this is also an illusion. And if it battles, that monster at the end of the damage step becomes 0 and is negated. So the idea is to go for game with this card, attack once, 0 the monster, attack 3 more times. So you need a lot of materials for that. Then we have a new runic monsters, Sleipnir, the runic main, level 9. This syncs with generators that share a lore with runics if you didn't know. During your main phase or your opponent's battle phase, quick effect, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, banish both it and this card until the end phase. This makes every runic card an out to something like a Rise Heart. You just remove it to the field and play a little bit. And if your opponent has a card from your deck to your hand, special summon one runic token, which is a very light level 4, 15, 15 in attack position. Cool. And then the last fusion, a really cool one, Magnum the Reliever, which requires a monster special summon from the X-Deck and one monster in the hand. So that could be a really good target for Brandon in red. Shout out to Scarlin that kind of came up with that. You can target one poly in your graveyard or a fusion spell in your graveyard. Place it in the bottom of your deck, then draw one card. When another card or effect is activated, you can banish one poly or fusion spell, target one card in the field, and destroy it. Now we have the Synchro Support cover card, Ultra Rare Cosmic Quasar Dragon. 1 tuner synchro plus 2 plus non-tuner synchros. Requires at least 3 materials. Must be fusion with the synchro monsters, with the synchro materials listed above. Once per turn, target face-up cards on the field up to the number of monsters, which is a minimum 3. Used plus 1, which makes it a minimum 4. Negate their effects. This effect cannot be negated, which is cool. So basically, it's a trigger, but it negates 4 cards on the field at minimum. Quick effect, you can banish this card, synchro summon card, special summon 1 dragon synchro monster from your extra deck that lists 2 or more non-tuners, and it is a synchro summon. This is a good card, Crimson Dragon. It's not called that Crimson Dragon, which is funny. Like, they changed it to Crimson Dragon. It is the Crimson Dragon, right? It's a generic Dragon Synchro level 12. If it's special summon, you can add 1 spell or trap that mentions it. And as a quick effect, you can target 1 level 7 or higher synchro monster. Accept this card, return it, then you special summon a Dragon Synchro with the same level. So this is how you make Calamities. I'll leave it at that. Visas Amritara. Level 8 light. Warrior Tuner Synchro effect. 1 plus tuner plus 1 light monster. Becomes Visas. You can only use each of the effects once per turn. If this card is synchro summon, you can add 1 spell or trap that mentions Visas from your deck. This is a lot of cards. During your main phase, you can destroy 1 monster you control. For the rest of the turn, all synchro monsters you control will gain 800, which is a really good card. This is the new Infernoble Princess, Angelica, Princess of Noble Arms, level 5 fire. Warrior Synchro. Requires, it's generic. And if it is a special summon, you can add 1 Horn of Oliphant or 1 card that mentions Charles, Emperor Charles, from your deck to your hand. When a card is activated that targets this card, or when this card is targeted for an attack, as a quick effect, you can send 1 Fire Warrior monster from your deck. And if you do banish this card, then you can special summon 1 Roland monster from your extra deck or deck. Holy crap. New Ursarctic level 1 Synchro, Ursarctic Polar Star. Must be special summoned by sending monsters you control with the level difference of 1. 1 tuner or 1 non-tuner. Contribute 1 level 8 Ursarctic from, in this card, special summon 1 level Ursarctic monster from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. And it gains the effect that your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters special summoned from the extra deck that have a level. And then the last synchro, beginning of the Pyro support, Gaia Blaze, the Force of Blazing Sun, which later has a fusion monster in Age of Overlord, level 7. Pyro, generic. When this attacking card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can activate this effect. This card can make a second attack in a row. At the end of the battle phase, you can target 1 fire monster in your graveyard up to the number of monsters this card destroyed by battle. Add them to the hand. We have another generic Evolzar, which is really good. Evolzar Raz. This is made possible by this card. You can summon it easily, but we still have Bestials at 3, so we're not going to have that for long. It's a Dragon 2, which is really crazy. Your opponent cannot target this card with color effect while it has a material. When your opponent activates a card or effect, you can detach 2 materials, or if all materials are Reptile and or Dino, you can detach 1. Target 1 face up your opponent controls. Once the face-up card, negate its effect. So basically, when a card effect is activated, detach to, negate. For any card. New Pearly Noir. Small Noir. Once per turn, you can discard 1 card, then target 1 card in your opponent controls, or up to 2 instead if it has Sleepy Memory. Return them to the hand. So Ignition. Yeah. Ignition. Bounce 2, which is like a nullified effect of the X Pearly Noir. And then up to thrice, if a Pearly is activated, you can attach it. Then you can set 1 Pearly trap directly from your deck. That is very strong. Telematech Kratos. It's a rank 8 spellcaster. Each time your opponent activates a trap or effect, or a monster effect, place 1 counter on this card, max 9 when it resolves. If this card would be destroyed, you can detach 1 material from this card instead. You can remove 3 spell counters from this card, apply these effects. one of these effects. Add one spell or spellcaster effect monster from your deck to your hand. Special summon one spellcaster monster from your hand or deck. Pretty cool, but it requires your opponents to play. Rhinosaurus, the Magic Head Cannon. Generic rank 4. When your Dino monster is destroyed by battle, when your Dino monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, sends it to the graveyard, you can attach one material and inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. Then this card gains 1000 attack. If this exceeds summoned card is destroyed, you can target one card on the field destroyed. If you do, inflict 1000 damage. Ultrageisted Minia. Link 4, 2+ Ultrageist monsters. I like that they're not generic. If this card is link summoned, you can set one Ultrageist trap from your deck directly. Once while this card is face up on the field during the main phase, you can send one card you control to the graveyard, then target one effect monster your opponent controls. Yoink it. Take control of it. Charlemagne, called I think something Great Charles in the TCG. Requires, it's a link 1. This is a nutty card design. Level 9 Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles equipped with an equip card. That is the only material. If it is link summon, you can target one Infernoble Knight Emperor charged in your graveyard. This card's name becomes that monster's original name, and replace this effect with that monster's effect. Then equip it to this card as an equip spell that gives it 500 attack. Once per turn, when a spell trap is activated, quick effect, you can send one a quick spell card from your hand or face up in the field, negate that activation, and destroy a card. Really good card. And then finally, Link 2s. Are they broken? Yes, they are. 2 Fiends. Unchained Soul King Yama. If it is special summon, you can add one Unchained monster from your deck to your hand or graveyard to your hand. If a card you control or cards is destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card, special summon one Fiend monster from your hand or graveyard, then you can destroy one card you control. Pretty strong. Again, there are more, I think about 20 more cards not revealed in the set, which are imports from other TCG sets or CG sets that we usually get. We already saw some of them in the reveals, and also a new TCG exclusive theme that is going to be added, which is Tristina. It's going to be added to the set, so we don't have those cards yet, but you're going to see them on YouTube with your favorite creators. And this is Duelist Nexus. I really hope you enjoy this. If you made it this far into the video, then you gotta leave a like and subscribe, and also consider, of course, joining as a member. And lastly, if you want to pick up this set, it is available already for pre-order on tier0games.com. Link in the description below for my affiliate link. Supports the channel, really helps me out. Thank you so much for watching. I won't keep you. Love you guys so much. Thank you for staying here. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.